It is 4 o'clock. Order of the Grayson County Economic Development Authority. We have a quorum. Joan's going to be out today, so we still have 4 people here. Everybody's looked over the minutes from the last meeting with the motion to approve.
A motion.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
And next, look over the financial report. Any questions? Questions on financial reports? If not, I'll look for motion approved.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Favor aye. Presentations. Ms. Belton, you're up.
All right, good evening. So I think I know everybody here. So I've got a presentation in front of you. It's a little bit better quality than I think you got the last time. I put 2 pages up on it the last time, so this has got the individual post. I didn't bring the presentation to post on the screen. I figured it'd be something you could take and review and write down any questions that you may have. So how much time do I have? You know, I mean, is this?
Presentation for time.
Okay, so I don't want to waste a lot of your time because it is in front of you, but I do want to make sure I cover everything, answer any questions you may have, and go from there. But the letter that you should have in front of you and had received in a packet earlier, Dear Grayson County Economic Development Authority, we, a group of 6 or more local entrepreneurs and business owners, hereby express our committed intent to purchase the Baywood School building and associated property from the Grayson County Economic Development Authority. Our purpose in acquiring this property is to establish a foundation of community growth and sustainability by supporting multiple 501c3 nonprofit organizations and small business headquartered within the facilities. These organizations will include, but not limited to, the Baywood Ruitons Group and the Rescue Squad, continuing community service and civic engagement, child care development initiatives, providing safe, quality care and early learning programs for local families, community development and small business development center activities, hosting events, workshops, and gatherings to enhance local engagement and wellness, education elements with commercial kitchen and dedicated space. The Baywood School property offers a unique opportunity to create a self-sustaining hub for nonprofit organizations and small business development, enabling these organizations to share resources, reduce overhead costs, and strengthen our community infrastructure. Our group's diverse business experience and commitment to civic responsibility position us to steward this asset responsibly and effectively. We welcome the opportunity to discuss purchase terms that align with both the EDA's objectives and our shared commitment to economic and community development. Thank you for your consideration, and we look forward to collaborating with you on the EDA to bring this vision to life. So, going through the presentation, the history, Elk Creek School, when the Board of Supervisors had it, it's my understanding the Board of Supervisors can't sell property, so they gave that property to Elk Creek. Gave Providence, gifted it to the community on Providence School, and Flat Ridge, my understanding is the county still owns it, but it's community center. No?
They just deeded it to them this year, I believe.
Okay.
Elk Creek and Providence both went to the fire departments of that area.
And all are active and thriving. I just seen where Elk Creek has done a lot of things in their area, so they would appreciate the opportunity. So a lot of things have happened since before the Baywood Group and I won't go through everything, but all these are completed. The 4-phase planning reports, feasibility study, Baywood community meetings. There's been 2, maybe 3 of those so far. Traffic statement, building code and code analysis, and I have copies of all these if you need to see them. Grant writer has been committed and assigned to the Baywood Group project. Heavy community board of directors established, and initial grant partners, agencies, and attorneys engaged, and all those are completed. So a good thing that separates what we're trying to do with Baywood School that is different than a lot of the other things that's happening in the community is all of our board members live in close proximity or attended Baywood School. With me here, got Charles Cox, and I'm going to let them talk, but just to do a quick introduction with them, and then Terry Hensley. Charles Cox is fire department volunteer, community advocate, developer, and currently renovating Baywood Rescue Squad with other community leaders. Sonia Truitt apologizes she couldn't make it. Her husband passed away not too long ago, and her mother needed some help this evening, so she wasn't able to make it, but she's in full support of the initiative. She is a career and technical education and youth development expert, so she can bring the educational element to this. Terry Hensley, Baywood Rueton leader, and also if you look at Baywood School and look straight up on the hill, that's where he lives. All the neighbors are connected to him. He's also a lead member in the Baywood Ruetons and part of the local church. Myself, I bought 3 buildings on downtown Galax, 2 in Hillsville. I'm a general manager for a electronics company in downtown Galax. I'm vested in the locality, and we've got a lot more unnamed participants for the board of directors that has all either went to the Baywood School or live in close proximity. So if you look at development phase 1, this is all engineering driven. This is not something that I created. This is an engineering firm come in, had a business meeting with the community of Baywood, and went through questions and answering and saying, we went through all the grants that we could get. We went through all the different legislations that we could work around, and they went through a 3 or 4 phase project and went through with the community group. Our first initial agency that was working with, without owning the facility, you can't go in and get the grants and have the conversations about how to start the process of grant stacking. But with our community and our expertise as far as how things work and the different legislations and grant writers and that type of thing, we've got a really good story to build on. Obviously, it has a commercial kitchen and have an agriculture element and community education, civic events. Baywood Ruetons will be heavy into it as far as bringing a lot of the community together and things that we've kind of lost out not having Baywood School there anymore. So phase 2, walking trails, playground renovation, tennis court renovations, and again, there's costs associated with these. We're going to be chasing the grants and the community to make these things happen. The school is in good shape to where it does need some renovations and stuff. I've worked with the facilities that I've done in Galax and Grayson, working with the Brownsville organization, working with the councils for the different counties for grants. Then I know how to stack those and talk to those groups. And if you look at the last page, the difference in the design vision of community partners is adding that agriculture element. The original intent behind getting Baywood School early on was getting the agriculture, the 4-H and that type of thing in it. So had a rink set up, and again, this all came from the design engineers. So I'll be willing to answer any questions as deep as you want to go. I would like for these 2 gentlemen to step up and talk about their part in it. You good? Charles Cox.
Believe me, I don't have a long-winded speech like Travis does. I'm a resident, Old Baywood Road, lived in the area my whole life. Been involved in a lot of different organizations, a lot of different work my whole life. Seeing the importance of our community, we do not have a home base to work with, and I'm seeing that this site would really work very well from all the items that Travis talked about, but again, more so just a location to bring people together and build from there. And when you build, you're building from an economical standpoint, community, and you're just literally growing in a lot of different aspects. But I'm very, very excited about, all the ideas that we've been running around, considering and bringing to you today, and just hoping we can make it work. It's just appreciate you guys.
I'm Terry Hensley. I'm originally from Gaylights. My wife and I moved out to Baywood in '88. We, like Travis said, right up behind the school where the Rutan shelter is. So I definitely have an interest in wanting to see this go through. When the school, my daughter went to Baywood School until she moved up to Independence. This is pretty special. I've been to Rutan's for 33 years, and we did so many benefits to help people in that community, and I'd love the opportunity to get that back going to where we can do those things to help those people in need. What it would do to open up a venue for the rescue squad to have events and things like that in the community. A lot of stuff's in here, opportunities. We've discussed, everybody's had so many ideas about, what's the needs? What can we do for people in the community that have needs, not just Baywood, but around. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity. So thank y'all very much for having us and your time. And I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
So one last thing, and then open up for questions. There's a couple things that if we can work forward and make some of these things happen. We've talked about what the community would feel about purchasing the property and what they wouldn't want in the area. So again, it's up to you guys, but putting in there that I think one of the questions was a methadone clinic or a drug rehab or a AI data center. Those type of things that the community wouldn't want, putting that in the legal terms as far as, hey, this is not what this is going to be for. They can't get anything that we can think of that wouldn't be wanted by the community, put it in the terms to where there's no questions or anybody can question the intent behind what we're doing. So with that, what kind of questions you got?
Travis, other than you're already working with a grant writer, do y'all have any funding or projected finances, any sort of projections as to how much it's going to cost to renovate and do what you want to do and where the money will come from?
Yeah, so everything is going to be, it is grant driven through 501c3s. All the communities, agencies that we've come in together, and I'm hesitant to say names, but like Rooftop, like Head Start, there's profit and there's nonprofit. Those individual 501c3s, and if you don't know, 501c3 is a nonprofit organization. It's not for profit. The nonprofit small business centers would actually just rent a space and to develop. If we rent them, if you can cover enough costs with everything else, then you don't charge the small businesses. You just group them together and provide those resources. But I've got a complete list out. The engineers come together of over $6 million for all 4 phases. So it's broken down into phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. We're hoping between 3 to 4 of those 501c3s to come in and then work with them on getting that grant funding to start stacking those. So We're not new to it. We've been in the Brownsville grant's gonna be, if you haven't already done the Brownsville grant for the Baywood School, that'll be the first one. And what it'll do is do the feasibility grant. It'll do any asbestos removals or lead-based paint or anything like that. And then they give you a structure to settle up with. Then you have the attorney that we've identified when we set up the Gaylots City. And they set up how these 501c3s split the facility. And then after the attorney, you got the Brownsville, and then you got the attorneys, and then you got the fundraiser initiatives for each 501c3. So there's already been interest in the youth just babysitting, childcare.
It happens to me every day.
Childcare there's two of them. There's one, it's a 501c3 nonprofit, and the other one is a for-profit. But in our area, childcare is one of the things that's most needed. So, along with some of the foster care things in the area. So, but I do have a lot of write-ups for the total cost. I don't foresee us going through phase 4 costing with them, because when you have some of the engineering groups come in, they want to add on, and then take the percentage of whatever they add on to it. As far as our knowledge base about what's available and what's out there for funding, we're in a unique position. And in our area, we're in a low economic development area, low housing area, and all the legislations are focused on our tri-state area or tri-county area. So there's a lot of opportunities for that.
Yes.
What would be the focus of it's kind of the first set of priorities past getting funding and grants and all that, as far as actual projects or renovations or whatever you're looking to do, kind of where does it get off the ground?
So is this public? I mean, this is going to newspaper?
This has been recorded live stream.
It's on YouTube right now.
Yeah, that's okay. So there's several different paths. One is the child care. That's a given. It's an automatic. We can work toward that. But there's things from the educational aspect and the ruins for the commercial kitchen in the community area. There's been interest in the hospital type things coming in to do not elder care, like a home, where somebody would come in and as they get older and stay, more of the resources, more of the physical activities.
Well, like geriatric care.
Yes. Yeah. So Sonia and another gentleman that went to Baywood School has a heavy interest in that. And I'm going to leave it up to them to bring their part into that. But it kind of got all of us excited about that part of it. But I think it's a multitude of those things. So my direction that I think we're going is the Brownsfield and conclusion phase 1 and phase 2 of that, and then includes the feasibility and the testing and getting all the records back on Baywood. Second is going through the next step of grants for the 501c3. So
So basically, I think that answers Jason's question. Like your phase 1 childcare, that's going to be your first priority to put in there. Is that
childcare and probably the health, the senior care. It's not rehabilitation, but it's what was the word you used?
I use geriatric.
Geriatrics. So there's a tennis court there. It's already in plans to be able to build up. So there's a lot of opportunities there.
Are you talking residential?
No, we are not.
Like a day program, or what do you?
Day program. Yes, sir.
Are you want an actual program, or is it just going to be open to like people can just come and use it, or is it going to be are you looking for a organized Programs.
organized. Anybody that comes into this facility will be a 501c3, or the only thing different that wouldn't be a 501c3, or say the hospital come in, or another hospital come in, or a university come in, it would be that organization running inside that facility. We just want to make sure that it's good for community and it's going to build. It brings the resources that can help us grow from our educational to our community. I mean, community's getting older, and there's a lot of Galax has got it, Carroll's got it, Grayson County doesn't have anything. So we've got a big heart and focus we don't want to lose this. I mean, this is something we want to try to build on. And if I'm saying anything different, then that's where we're at.
Are you looking to, with your funding, pay anything for the building? Like, or are you wanting us just to
So
give you the building?
that's terms, you tell me what needs to happen, we'll figure out how to make that happen. I don't, for all of us to go together, I mean, figuring out what you want for the building as far as, I'm good with that. We're good with that. We've talked about some numbers as far as what you could come back to us with and say, hey, we want you to do this, and this gives it back. Personally, if say we give so much money for it, then I'd like to see some of that money coming back into Baywood, into those 501c3s or the Ruitons or something to help build that along. Not back to us, but back to the organizations we'll win. And having the Board of Supervisors representative for Old Town and Baywood in the board, obviously we got some members that would be interested in contributing to it and building on to it. So. And making the decisions, not only just for Baywood, not just for Old Town, but for Grayson County. If you know me, if you know Charles, if you know Terry, I mean, we're vested. We're not going anywhere, and we want to see the best for everybody around us. So.
I guess I'll ask some questions if that's all right.
Yep.
Just so I understand, is you don't currently have a nonprofit. This group doesn't have a nonprofit.
No,
You're working on a nonprofit.
So we have an LLC that would buy the property.
Yeah.
We can use the Baywood Ruitons for the 501c3 until we develop another one. We can't create a 501c3 until this develops. Once this is developed, then we can set up the 501c3s and do anything, like if we wanted to do anything through the organization through a 501c3, then it would go through us. Our intent is for it to go to organizations that's structured to build and sustain that type of business, like the Ruiton, the Rescue Club, the hospital, or Rooftop, or somebody like that. It's hard not to say names in this thing.
So an LLC, I'm just gonna call it Baywood LLC, whatever you are calling it, is going to own, that's who you want to own the property.
On the
And
property.
then you're going to
Try to
rent it out, I guess, to the nonprofits, but not for profit, like,
Yeah,
not charge them, but give them
they're
access.
part of coming in Baywood is to use your 501c3s to develop their areas. So if one company come in from a 501c3, or if it's a hospital or a university or something like that, then we need to reconsider. That's a different story than a nonprofit. But right now, everything's looking like it's the 501c3 would get the investments to renovate and build on, not for profit back to the owners. The intent is to go back to the 501c3 organization.
But not your 501c3 there.
Correct.
So the LLC is not ever looking to sell any of the property to, the LLC is gonna own the property in whole
Right.
forever or whatever.
Right.
Will that not make you ineligible for grants?
That's why the 501c3s come in. We have to have that 501c3 that we could transfer and go through the owners for any of the 501c3s come through. So just for instance, like a Rooftop, a Head Start, or some of those organizations, they come in, they have their 501c3, they can do that. Ruitons can come in and use their 501c3 to develop an area for playground or tennis courts or something like that.
So each 501c3 is gonna go after their own grant,
Yes,
correct? And then that will go to their designated area within the building.
yes,
Or
or
on the
on the grounds, yes.
So your 501c3 then,
Would be something, if we decided we wanted to put on an agricultural event by us, then our 501c would cover that. But the majority of everything we're talking about is from the individual organization's 501c3. The intent behind this is, I'm a big believer in groups. So you're not gonna do anything by yourself. When you have several of these 501c3s and government agencies like USDA, we've had Virginia Tech talking to us about it. We've had Bluefield, we've had UVA, those type of things, talking about what they can contribute to the area builds on rural development. Right now, rural development gets the short end of the stick. We're usually about 5 to 6 years behind Northern Virginia, where we lose out a lot. But those being in this area, those organizations that's 501c3 get those resources to build on.
Can I ask another question?
Mhm.
I'm sorry. I guess, who is your grant writer? It says you have a designated grant writer, a committed grant writer?
I don't know if I can say her name.
Oh, okay.
I don't,
Okay.
without
that's
her being here, I don't wanna, but I can.
I'm the finance director, so from my standpoint, what concerns me is that if Baywood Group LLC owns the property, are we sure we're gonna have eligibility through Head Start to renovate a portion of a property they don't own?
Mhm.
That would be my big
They
question.
will have to have control.
Right.
of
That-
that.
Yeah, the attorneys will have to do, we'll have to do that in the 501c3s and how that's structured. You have to have that property before you can set up those 501c3s. Now, we go,
And your idea is to designate a portion of the property to each separate 501c3 as
Yes.
control,
yes,
so they can go up to grants.
Like deeded?
Yeah, I don't know how
Can it
that
be-
works.
I mean, I don't understand how you could deed a gymnasium out of a
You
school
have to set it
to.
up like a condominium, I would think.
I've not done that, so I just don't know.
I wasn't trying to put you on the spot, sorry.
you're fine, that's fine.
See, that's, I'm in title insurance and Joan's in real estate, and that's what I'm trying to think through is if this came across my desk for me to insure this property for rooftop or whatever, I'm thinking, how would I do that? How would there be a description that I could use?
Conceivably, several of these, they'll be under the same roof. A lot of it will be under the same roof.
Unless they build onto the property. Say an agency doing childcare wants to come in and they don't want the school part, they want to build a separate thing with the playground. That's in their option because it's on the property. But the intent behind with the school is to get somebody in there that is long, sustainable, that will continue to put money into it.
And I guess on the flip side, I'm thinking if I was on the rooftop board, and we're looking at putting money into this, I would be thinking, what if something happens? Are we going to lose money that we're putting into this building that we don't own?
Yeah, so some of those things is, and we get in the terms or whatever, going into the LLC 2 501c3, if we needed to do that separately for ourselves. But if we go in and say, there's 100 different options you can do, but if, let's say Rooftop comes in and they want to come in and put a child care center, they could come in and it could be a decision that comes in and say, all right, we want to give them the entire Baywood School if they have a good proposal, or maybe you just do half of it and then leave the community center and then have them part of it. But having the different areas for multiple 501c3s to come in to get some development going, then we could utilize the more of the property and hopefully more in Grayson County. Not just Grayson County, I'm Big Lakes too, so. But it wouldn't be, it wouldn't be out of question where we do LLC and put it in terms of where we get the 501c3 developed. I think we have to talk to the attorneys, but I think you have to have that property developed before you get the 501c3. With what we're doing, it shouldn't be hard to get that at all. It's just a lot of paperwork if you don't own property, you got to talk to a lot of people,
I
so.
would think it would work in the reverse, that you would have to get the 501c3 in order to get the money to help you renovate with the grant money.
So renovate with the grant money would be on the organization's 501c3s.
If the, I'm sorry.
If we did the 501.
Would, if this was purchased by the LLC or gifted or whatever, would there be an ask? Because you mentioned a little bit of something like if there was a purchase you want, some type of contribution from the county. Would you want the county still engaged? Would you take over the maintenance, expenses, insurance, and those type of things, or is that?
Yes,
You're taking that over?
full board, yeah. Taking that burden off of the county and then, and putting it back, if, let's say, so many $1,000s you want for the property and we pay that for the property. What I was saying is it could go back to the Rutons or whatever to develop a commercial kitchen. That does not have to be. We're not, it's not part of that has to happen before we're feasible. It's just like, if we're gonna spend that money, I'd like to see it come back, but that's not, I don't think that's not even part of it. Hadn't been part of the conversation about coming back to us. So that could be a moot point. Don't even have to worry about it. But if we could put it back into community outreaches like the rescue squad and the Rutons, that would be pretty cool. But it's not needed. It's not the direction we're going to take that. But
The rescue squad's not planning on moving over there.
They're not,
Right?
no.
Yeah, they would just be using it for like dinner.
Rutons and rescue squad work together a lot. They do fundraisers, they do community events. So if the Rutons are doing a community event, chances are the rescue squad will come along with it. They've been struggling a lot. We've had some community meetings on it about how we can come together as a community and do it. And we had it in the Baywood gym. We had Mitchell was there, probably Chamber of Commerce, most of them were there. Some of the school teachers for Grayson County was in, just saying, what can we do to say Baywood Rescue Squad? Now, Charles has come in to the rescue squad and put some more investments in community leaders and developing that. We want to do the same type of thing. So, if you come back and say, and we work with the county, with the EDA, however we need to do the structure with the lawyers. I don't want to do anything out of the ordinary, but if we need to do LLC differently, 501c3 first, I'm good with any of that. This is not a money-making venture. This is a community-driven, how do we make this the biggest impact possible? And I'm positive with the resources that we have working on this, it's gonna be good.
Anything else?
Nothing.
So your community leaders, which is gonna be more probably, is interested in putting money in this, to get the school feasible to work with instead of sitting there wrong thing. And put it back to the community. So there's money involved through your.
Yeah, so 6+ people, we've already talked about putting a certain amount of money in. What that money is up to you guys. We're gonna take the financial burden off the county for taking care of it. We did mowing, we did maintenance, we did electrical, all that type of stuff. But also we are prepared to put money into it as well to show, hey, we've got skin in the game. We're committed to this. And I think I know you'll be happy with the people we have involved that wants to see success of this project. It's not just a few sitting here. We've got a lot of people that has been engaged. There is some history about is a methadone clinic or something like that. Put all that stuff in. That was past when the school first shut down. We started going after some stuff. It's just false rumors or anything that you don't want in the area. Put it in there, because the 501c3s that makes a difference in our area, we work with them all the time. They're in our communities, we're on our boards, and we're trying to figure out how to sustain and put more into rural Virginia instead of all of our tax base and everything going up to Northern Virginia. So I'm positive we have a great plan to do that. We'll need help with the attorneys and everything to make sure that it's right and we do the right things to make sure it doesn't provide a stumbling block to anybody. But we'll say the lawyer or the attorney group that we'll be working with is the same ones that ties all the grants together that we did in Galax. The ones we worked with, they know how all these I's are dotted, T's are crossed. They know how the Brownsville works into the succession plan from phase 1 to phase 2 of development. And then it's stacked. So.
Okay,
That's it.
that's it. They'll talk about it here later. Just before we get back. Sure.
My best.
I appreciate your
Thank
time.
y'all for
If there's
coming.
any other
Appreciate it.
questions you need, just let me know. We'll go from there. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next old business, house.
Okay, that's me. Sorry. So we spoke, Nikki and I spoke with Andrew Downs, River Conservatory. I think the question you had for us before was who pays for the appraisal. He sent us a list of appraisers, yellow book appraisers. When I say a list, there's two. There's only two in the state that do that. The way it would work is we would indicate, the board would have to tell me we want to move forward with that property as potentially putting in a conservation easement for the river. They would order the appraisal, pay for the appraisal. It would not commit us to anything, but they would want, so we don't have to pay for it. We don't have to pay for the appraisal. And I think we talked about this last time. Their plan would be to gather grants to improve the property and resell that property to a potential neighbor or someone close by that is interested in the property. Well, obviously, that property would be an easement for the rest of the time. So that's the plan. So if you would like to move forward with a yellow book appraisal, we can do that. If you would like to,
And they would compensate us for whatever the yellow book appraisal says.
that's correct.
So they buy it from us, the yellow book appraisal.
No, they order the appraisal.
Yeah.
We just let them know we are interested in taking the path forward. They order the appraisal.
Yep.
It comes back. I would come back to the board, which is the appraisal, and then we make a decision at that point in time. If we went a different direction, they got to eat the appraisal cost.
And if we did move forward with them, they would pay us the appraisal price.
Yes, sir.
And then they would place whatever restrictions they do per their guidelines and then look to resell to something else. So they would only be holding the property for a limited period of time.
Yeah, understanding, correct me if I'm wrong, understanding what their idea is to clean the property up, maybe raise the building, plant, clean it up, natural plants, and then resell that as a, part of conservation. So they go after grants. To improve the site.
Yeah.
That's how they do it. I'm just thinking.
Yep, you got it.
Okay.
I don't see any reason we wouldn't have them do the appraisal.
Right.
If we're not out anything.
I agree.
Sounds like a motion.
Make a motion that we have the river service move forward with their yellow book appraisal.
I second.
First and second, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right,
next week, Linda?
You do.
Okay,
Tuesday.
so we gotta meet next Tuesday with Andrew.
No, it's the first week of August, I'm sorry.
Linda, don't mess me up. So we gotta meet in 2 weeks. It's been a rough day, I tell you. Met with the Country Sisters, at, Quick Check. And so tried to get basically to what is needed, what's not needed, what's kind of the requirements are to get this thing going, what the real costs are, kind of what the have-tos are. And so there's more work to be done, is what I'll say. In other words, there was a fryer there that I think was purchased 4 or 5 years ago, and I think they paid $10,000 or $12,000 for it. I think in the proposal they had purchased a new fryer, and my thought was, hey, can we just get this service for $500 or something like that instead of trying to go out and purchase this new thing? And so there's big ideas and there's practical ideas, and so where I'm trying to shape this into a practical form and what this would really cost. There's no new paint that needs to happen. There's maybe a few chairs and some pictures, but what are the real requirements that need to happen to get this restaurant going? I don't know the answer to that yet. We're meeting again next week on this. But they're open, obviously they're open to any help that the EDA would be interested in giving. I don't have a number for you right now, is what I will tell you. But I did go down and meet with Scott and the girls and trying to shape their thoughts on kind of what do you really need at this point in time to get this going, because it's not the right check for us to help in this situation. So that's kind of, any thoughts, questions for me?
Were they interested in us, low interest loan?
Yes. Both.
Both.
Yes. Certainly are. I think they're going to struggle. My opinion is they'll struggle with the upfront cost of ensuring the equipment's there. If you're going to approve something of this nature, there'll be some type of upfront capital that they're going to need help with, and then the rest could probably flow into a loan that can be paid back over time, is my guess. And that's kind of the discussion this board had before, so that I guess what we'll get back to. But I'm trying to get to the shortest numbers that we can come to from a grant. The board, kind of want to maybe push towards a low interest loan, which I certainly understand. So that's what we're trying to get to, and reduce the risk to losing any finances for us. Right? Okay. Questions? No?
And you're gonna meet with them again, you
Next
said?
week, yeah. She emailed me today, said, sorry, I know I was supposed to meet with you today or this week. We had a tragedy in our family. My uncle passed, and I will call you on Monday. So they did meet with Scott again to take some measurements. There was some other equipment in there I thought was very usable, that could be cleaned or updated a little bit. And there are some things that didn't want to do. But we'll get some number crunching first before I come back. That's okay. Sharpen the pen. Okay.
Very good.
Any questions, concerns?
Okay.
Well, while we're on updates, my text I sent you today, is this where this comes in, or is that later? It don't matter, I didn't know.
It'd be real short later.
Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, there may not be anything.
Yeah, so what Betsy had texted me about was the Appalachian housing project that is, it is an offshoot from Wellspring. So they created this, they bought a facility in Abingdon. Wellspring or Appalachian has bought a facility in Abingdon, and their goal is to produce attainable housing and community land trusts for localities. They serve 4 localities. For one of those localities, we have showed them. I told you we showed them probably 7 or 8 pieces of property. They have not come back to us on any purchases of those properties. And last I heard, they had invested, something like another $4 or $5 million in the facility to get it going. I did reach out to Mariana Rice today to see if she had any updates. She didn't call me back, so I don't have any great updates for you. But
Okay.
we're still working.
Okay, next EDA number time, Ms. Collins.
So I went to the best way to describe it, a presentation in Abingdon. It was or not Abingdon, excuse me, Bristol. The Downtown Association of Bristol invited this speaker to come, and basically what this group of girls does, their name is PEDAL, PEDAL, and they help people develop business plans, lease properties, and sort of start them from start to finish and getting in retail spaces. So they do like a lot of coffee shops, yoga studios, restaurants, pet grooming facilities. This is a lot of what they do, more than that, but the things you think of in retail, maybe a clothing shop, that kind of thing. And, you know, I wasn't expecting too much, but it was really good. And if y'all get a time they've got a bunch of videos on YouTube that you can watch about different subjects. Sure, I haven't watched a whole lot of them, but that girl was just a great presenter, and she gave a lot of good information about working with people that I think it'd be good for us. I don't think we've got any MBAs, you know, on here.
Oh, I thought you had it. Oh, my fault. Oh, she's got a CPA. I'm sorry.
But it's, you know, getting started with a small business is really a big deal. It's, you know, it's not, you think you're just gonna lease a space and go in there and do whatever the thing is that you're gonna do. But of course, key to it is in the business plan. And she said inherently, people will not do a comprehensive business plan because from a psychological standpoint, you want to do whatever the thing is that you want to do. You don't want to find out reasons why you can't or shouldn't do that thing. Like, do I have the money to do this? Do I really want to spend the time that it's going to take for this business to be successful? Getting all of those numbers from start to finish, you know, I was glad to see that the Country Sisters had actually gone on and done a business plan with SBA, but she was saying those aren't even necessarily comprehensive enough when it comes to all the nuts and bolts and the expenses involved. And she said it's so much better to have somebody go, you know, I think this isn't what I want to do before they spend money or we spend money or anything else. You know, we're here to try to help people do stuff. We want to encourage small business, but it's a lot bigger deal and it's a lot more expensive anymore than it used to. It used to be you could just kind of go in and wing it. And of course, in this area, we've got a lot of challenges just because of our demographics. It's a tiny place. It's a little place. There's not a large population here, so it makes it even more difficult. But she had some red flags. One of the red flags was, is the person planning to keep their other job and work another job while they're trying to get this business off the ground? It's not going to work. There's lots of little things that you can sort of see when people are trying to get started with something where they're not going to be successful with it. Let's see, what else other notes did I write down here? Things that you want to see, like that lenders look for when they're, and I think we're not lenders, but I think we should sort of look at it from the aspect of, as a lender would look at it when you're giving somebody money. Do they have a comprehensive business plan? Did they use AI to generate the business plan? If they did, it's not a good business plan. It's lazy when people use AI to generate stuff or just use some sort of, you know, what do you call it? Boilerplate
Like
boilerplate material or whatever. It's not really well thought through, And finally, and this was a question somebody else in the audience brought up, was, you know, how much of a business plan should include a grant or a low interest loan from the community? And she said, the business plan should not be predominantly or even mostly, dependent upon whether we give them money or not. It's not gonna be successful, is what she's saying. If they can't get up and going without a large portion of their startup costs coming from us, that's a good sign that it's not gonna work. But at any rate, I know everybody wants one more boring thing to look at, but I really enjoyed it and think it's worth everybody's time to take a look at. And the slides that were on there were a lot of pictures. I was telling Linda, don't print all that out. But there's some good information on cost per square foot for leasing, which of course doesn't apply to here, I'll tell you that right now. But, and also startup costs for building out, something that's wrong. It's very surprising how much it costs, and I believe that. It's almost more expensive to do things here than it is other places. There's just not as many contractors and subcontractors, but it's super expensive, the cost, and she has it broken down into, like I said, coffee shop, pet grooming place, whatever the thing may be. There's several categories in there on those slides that you can look at and see. I won't bore you reading them. That's sort of all I had to say.
It's good.
I appreciate that.
You have something? Oh, I thought you. One of the things that I sit on that board that oversees SBA over. And one of the things, the reports that comes out all the time is the number of businesses that decide not to move forward. We have a number of inquiries, how many they helped, the planning process they went through, and then the number that decided, hey, this is too much. I'm not going to be able to do this, it is we always see that as a positive. And I'm like, I'm glad we sent that to, I think everybody, if they don't have a good plan, if they haven't spent the legwork and time at least thinking through what this was going to look like for them, that's the first thing that we should say. That's the fair thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Thanks for going.
Well, I enjoyed it. I wasn't really, like I said, when you go to those things, most times you're like, well, but it was really good. I might not even, I probably wasn't very good at communicating everything that I heard, but like I said, there's a bunch of YouTube videos on there. You can watch a couple short. They've got it broken down into different categories.
Okay. Yeah, thank you for doing that. Anything else on that? Okay. No informational items, no public comments. We'll look to go into closed session pursuant to 2.2-371185. Hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Now, to be totally transparent, I'm interested in the Baywood project. I'm interested in investing in it in our community. So with that being said, I'm going to excuse myself from the closed session. So y'all discuss whatever, and whatever you want to come out, just the whole board that that's all you talked about on this, and have that, and I'll be outside.
Thank you.